Hi, I'm Ashley with Modern Gardener, and I'm here at Wheeler Farm to talk with Katie Wagner about companion planting. First, Katie, tell me a little bit about yourself and what you're doing here.
Sure. So my name is Katie Wagner, and I work for Utah State University Extension, and I help to oversee and coordinate a large Master Gardener program here in Salt Lake County. Behind us, we can see we have about an acre field. This is a project that we do in partnership with Wheeler Historic Farm, and all of this food is donated. So we utilize our volunteers to help harvest this, and we do pop-up farmers markets at senior centers around Salt Lake County. So we're giving this food away to give back to our seniors.
That's so cool. Okay, so most people are familiar with companion planting as a way of planting plants next to each other to boost yield or help with pest control. And companion planting is much more in depth than that.
Yeah, so there are different types of companion planting. First, a gardener wants to decide what it is that they want to grow. And so, okay, I want to grow beans this year, I want to grow tomatoes this year, whatever that may be. And once they've identified what they want to grow, doing a little research, finding out what kind of insect pests are attracted to those specific crops. We like to talk about the concept of integrated pest management. And so if you are able to kind of determine what insect pests are attracted to those crops, you can also plant other things that are going to help to attract and retain natural enemies to your garden. And so those are the insects, those are the good guys, the good bugs, right, that are coming in and they're picking off some of these pest insects, or they're maintaining those populations at a tolerable threshold. Things sometimes people don't think about: spiders, parasitic wasp. Of course, we think of ladybird beetles as a really common one. Predaceous ground beetles, lacewings. All of these different types of insects are going to move into these areas, and they're going to stay in these areas, and they're going to help to control some of those pest populations. So thinking about ways in which plant choices that are going to help to attract those natural enemies into the garden is a great way to maintain pest control throughout the growing season without having to do a lot of chemical spraying, which a lot of us try to avoid. One thing I did want to just quickly mention about quality pollen and nectar is a lot of people don't realize that natural enemies, if they don't have their favorite food source around, utilize nectar as their energy source. So again, by having continuously flowering plants in the garden, it's going to help to attract those types of beneficial insects and maintain them right around where you want to have them hunting for pest insects that might want to come in and take advantage of your garden.
So they already know the garden, they don't have to find it. It's already like home for
You're
them.
providing them habitat, you're providing them food source, and you've provided them a hunting ground. So really they have all those components that they need to really excel. And oftentimes we'll see that we'll have increased populations of them because you're providing all of those different components right there where you want to have them. One of the techniques that sometimes organic producers will use is planting trap crops in the garden. So blue carpet petunia is a great trap crop for thrips. So the thrips are more interested in the blue carpet petunia than the tomatoes or the peas in which you might be trying to grow. And then if those populations start to build, you can pull out that trap crop and destroy it.
I really liked the example that you gave of kind of like a wall of sunflowers. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. So Peterson Family Farms, coming into his farm, he has a dirt road, which produces a lot of dust as vehicles drive up and down the dirt road. And so he has this wall, this barrier of tall growing sunflowers. Of course, the sunflowers are awesome for quality pollen and nectar, for bees and other types of pollinators, food source for birds and some of the other habitat that can pick off those insect pests as well. But it helps to keep that dust from moving into the farm field because, for example, spider mites really like hot, dusty conditions. That tends to be where their populations just explode. So again, it's just thinking through and utilizing these different elements in the garden or the farm to help to prevent creating the correct conditions for having pest infestations that can really take off and devastate crops quickly.
Awesome. And it's not just about planting flowers. You can also use plants that are going to add nitrogen to the soil. And
so legumes are, just the most miraculous family of plants in that they trap atmospheric nitrogen and redeposit it down into the soil environment. So sometimes you'll see examples where legumes like peas or beans will be planted next to heavy nitrogen feeders like corn. The classic example, of course, is the Three Sisters farm, right? Where you have the corn that grows tall It provides the pole for the beans to wind up to find the sunlight. The beans are providing the nitrogen back to the corn. And then underneath we have the squash, or we have the cucurbits, where they are growing out and shading the soil that helps with weed suppression. So sometimes those magical combinations can help.
Okay, so it sounds like companion planting or farmscaping is you take your garden, you decide what you want to grow, you find the flowers and plants that are going to benefit the natural enemies of the pests that will help control that environment of pests. And it's not the save-all, it's not going to like completely...
The silver bullet, yeah.
It's not the silver bullet, but it's
Right.
going to help control the pests a little bit better in your garden and make your garden look beautiful.
Absolutely.
With the flowers and diversify the garden.
Yep.
So
You're thinking of it as a ecosystem and not just I'm growing this plant because I want to eat this from this plant. You're providing all those different components.
and make your garden look beautiful.
And make your garden look beautiful. And hey, it's a side benefit. You can cut your cut flowers and bring them into the kitchen and make your home look beautiful too. So yeah.
I love that. And it's such a beautiful garden you have here. We're really happy to be here.
Well, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Yeah,
Nice
thanks
work.
for coming out.